God damn, Jimmy. This some serious gourmet shit. Me and Vincent would have been satisfied with some freeze-dried Taster's Choice, right? And he springs this serious gourmet shit on. What flavor is this?
Hi there, guys. I thought that I would drag you guys along the journey that I went through when Miss Mariani posed the question, what do I want my footprint in life to be? What do I want to be remembered for? What is my verse in the act of life? It took me a full day of thinking to come up with this answer, and I just wanted to drag you guys along the journey because it directly correlates with what I want to do with my life as my career and how I want to make money, but it's also what I want to do just emotionally and what I want to do with my life and the footprint that I want to leave. Hopefully you guys don't mind that I read what first gave me the spark or the idea to become a writer, and that is a few lines of text, and I'm just gonna read them off right now. Hatred outlives the hateful. Some convictions are so strong that the world must break to accommodate them. When there is nothing, everything is equally possible. Now, I put up some writers on screen, and you may think that those writers are where the quotes came from, but you'd be wrong. If I were to tell you where the quotes came from, you may not believe me, or you may think that they are immediately less intelligent or whatever. But they're just small little anecdotes from a trading card game that I play called Magic the Gathering. And these aren't like anywhere that's important to the card at all. It's the flavor text. It's at the bottom. Nobody even notices it. And I read a few of the flavor texts, and they were these small, insignificant things that everybody just brushed off. But to me, it was really cool because they had some really just insightful quotes. Now, these quotes came from the cards of Rancor, Vindicate, and One with Nothing, respectively. And they all had different authors, but they came from the same source per se, which is a small niche in a small niche of a trading card game, which is in itself a small niche because not many people play trading card games. But they don't only have the insightful ones. The one quote that I can pick out that really made me think being a writer would be cool was one from a card called Wizard's Retort. The second mage learned to dissipate blast of lightning, and thus. You are given no other context to that quote. It just ends in and thus. But even with that, you can formulate this story around it. Clearly, the first mage learned how to shoot blasts of lightning. This then caused the second mage to learn how to dissipate blasts of lightning. For what reason, we don't know. Whether he just was fearful of the power to shoot blasts of lightning, or whether he was in a life and death situation and needed to learn how to dissipate blasts of lightning, we don't know. But our mind starts to try to fill in the blanks. But you could write a short story just around this one line of text that's insignificant and is meant to be a throwaway. Nobody's supposed to notice it. But to me, it was more than that. It was important because it told a story of some kind, and that really was what gave me the idea to become an author. Now, if that was the seed that was planted, it really didn't start to grow until sophomore year. I had a really amazing English teacher named Mr. Bish, and he really wanted to know what I wanted to do, and I kind of just said, "Oh, being a writer sounds cool." And he talked me through it and said that he was a writer and how he was writing a book. After that, I went into my English 3 class with Mr. Ho, and he helped me grow as a writer. And he showed me more possibilities of what writing could do and how great of stories can be told with writing. Before that, I was telling very basic stories with writing, the little bit that I had done, but they were all very plain, not much substance to them. With Mr. Ho, he had shown me the nuances that you could have in a story that really made it extraordinary instead of ordinary. Then senior year, I had Miss Mariani, and she showed me how symbolic writing could be. Before, I was telling very dry stories, very cut and dry, like everything was explained in the story. There wasn't anything left up to interpretation, nothing was symbolic. There was no symbolic retribution from Dante. Somebody got hit because they needed to get hit for story purposes, not because they were. The violence was there for violence's sake in the stories. It was a plot device. It was just something that I thought would be entertaining to read. But when Miss Mariani taught us about symbolic retribution and such, I saw violence as so much more of a tool, and I enjoy writing high fantasy with magic and sword play. And after being in her class, I realized that there is so much potential that I have with these tools that I'm equipped with to make my voice my own in regards to the message that I want to get across for each character and how they represent themselves outside of just their actions, but what they actually embody. It can be more than just their actions, it can be everything about them. Now, these 3 were the ones to keep my writing going and really make me pursue it with an intent and a purpose. Before, I wrote something here or there. I wasn't writing consistently, and I wasn't writing consistent stories. It was very bleh overall. After these 3, I feel like I'm a much better writer, and they helped me grow so much. So, if you haven't caught on by now, this is what inspired me to become a writer. And the reason that I'm using the word inspire so much is because nobody has done anything great if they weren't inspired. And I just believe that to be very true. You aren't inspired, you aren't going to do anything great because you aren't going to have your heart into it. If you are inspired, then you're going to put every ounce of your being into it, and then you'll have some force behind it. If you don't put everything that you have, there's no way that you're going to do anything extraordinary. And that's what I want to do, is I want to make somebody else extraordinary. I want to inspire somebody, and the more people that I can inspire, the better. I just don't see anything better that I can do with my life than make other people's lives amazing and giving them a purpose, because that would mean that I truly left behind something worth my life. I made others' lives better, which should be everybody's goal in life. I don't believe anybody really has a goal to make others' lives worse. I think a lot of people have goals to make their lives better, but I think that if I can make other people's lives better, who can then go on and make other people's lives better because what they were inspired to do was something extraordinary like me, then I think the compounded effect would just, it's exponential. If I can inspire two people and each of them can inspire two people, then if those people inspire two people each, you'll have eight people inspired who are ready to do stuff with their life in the next few generations. And that sounds like a world that's good to live in, where everybody wants to do something and everybody has a goal that they're working for. I don't want to be in a world where nobody's doing anything. I don't want to be in a world where everybody's just sitting around doing nothing and letting life come to them. I want to encourage people to go out and go after life and put everything that they have into what they love. And I was inspired by something small, which was the cardboard filler of flavor text on the bottom of a trading card. And if I can be inspired by something that small, like if that can plant the seed to make me a better person and make me want to help other people, then I'm sure that I can do something to help. In conclusion, the footprint that I want to leave is a stepping stone for everybody who comes after me to step on and reach higher grounds than what I could have possibly reached, because I don't have the potential that other people will have in the future. And I believe that if I can give the people in the future a greater potential, that is a life worth living. That is what inspires me to keep working through college and on through the rest of my life.